Grand Rising, the test run of the It Is What It Is podcast, hosted by yours truly, Hassan Abdul Jalil Bey, aka Big Haas, aka Wizzy Raw, aka Plain Wayne, aka Lars. Islam to the Moors, Salam Alaikum to the Sahabas, Shalom to the Israelites, and Grand Rising to the Christians. I believe I covered everybody. It's a situation. Idiocy, nonsense, violence, not a good policy. Therefore, there must be no fighting and fussing. Heaven's at the door, so there we know bum rushing. R.I.P. Heavy D. Just felt like doing that, on some old nostalgic shit. Uptown Records, produced. Have, Father MC, Jodeci, Mary, P. Diddy, a.k.a. Love, Albie Shore, Christopher Williams, them type of people. Father MC, you know what I mean? Like I can just go back through my middle Rolodex of music, and I can hear what turned out to be Jodeci. I can hear Casey and JoJo in the background, you know what I mean? Singing in the background. On the Father MC track, like way back in the day. Don't quote me on the year right now, because I just had my early morning wake and bake off camera. But the jaw treat them like they want to be treated. You should treat them right. That type of stuff. Giving up my age a little bit, but it's all good. When you're moving towards progress, you can't take no days off. So, in spite of the weather, I'm not outside, I'm inside, but everything is footage. Everything is monetized. This is how the game goes in 2022. Yes, sir. But, this podcast is sponsored by Boots and Hanks, Salvage Yard, and other things. DPS Nutrition, and Tradesman International Construction. All affiliates of your boy. Now we'll continue. The topic of the day is just reality. Let me go into my, let me give you a short story long, or a long story short, however you want to perceive it, of my background story / bio. Born in Philadelphia, Temple University Hospital, North Philadelphia, 1972. Same year Curtis Mayfield made the excellent soundtrack to the excellent movie Superfly. We're going to get into how, Hollywood and social programming influenced the masses of people, through the big screen, the movies, now the television, now the laptops, the tablets, cell phones, etc. ETC, every town in the country. Hope I'm not saying too much. But it's just like the boy Stickman, the M1 from Dead Prez said on the one song. It's programming. Television programs. through social media, regular media, they influence the masses. They change the algorithms. They they control the youth. They influence the youth. To with older individuals like myself, either have lived in the old school dynamic of an old world, or they have to adapt. I have several plays in the mix right now. Things that I have to think into existence. Every word has spirit. Every word has, every word, every idea begins with a thought. Every word has spirit. Every word has power. So you speak things into existence. I'm a firm believer of that. I manifested that several times in his reincarnation. Excuse me. Of being a spiritual being that's having a human experience. But this is now Leo season. Shout out to all my cancers as well, my July cancers. But we have transitioned into Leo season. The season of a few special people in my life. They know who they are. One having a solar return anniversary of birth on Friday. And I'm not going to get into current events and things that are buzzworthy on social media right now. Not going to give you the gossip or the tea or anything like that. And I'm going to say this, free Sub-Zero. Someone that's inspired me. Shout out to Black Dot and Malcolm and Urban X. I'm definitely going to subscribe very soon for the whole year. I'm not going to play no games with it because y'all did 300 episodes for free on YouTube and like barely got monetized. Barely got donations and all that, so you know, I understand the hustle. I want to give it up for Black Magic 363, Brother Rich. I want to shout out KTL University, the Twin Pillars, Red Pill and Blue Pill, KT the Arts Degree Mama Pill, A.A. Rashid, Sidnetta, Professor Griff. I'll give it up to a fellow cancer dope artist, Kambada. I also give it up to Loaded Lux. Yeah. Subscribe to their social media platforms because those brothers have inspired me. Also like Drake Chabs, being done with a game, yeah, I mean, you know, Nori and Gilly respectively. But back to my bio. Born in Philadelphia. Raised in Philadelphia till age 18. Been on my own ever since. Lost my Umi and my younger sister to a tragic fire in North Philadelphia. All documented, 1990. Got interviewed by somebody from Channel 6, Action News. I believe it was Renee Chenault or whatever, but I was 18 and traumatized. And he took skits and, yeah, I mean, like, used my family's tragedy as like a, yeah, I mean, a scared straight situation for smoke alarms. But that's either here nor there. But my family members transitioned. It left me and my brother, 4 years my junior, in a situation at age 18 and 14. Life goes on, fast forward. Bounced around a couple, a couple small towns in PA. Did my 1-2, left Philly in the mid '90s. Came out to Wilkes-Barre. Eventually Scranton and all surrounding areas. Bounced around through Harrisburg, through York. Just bounced around a little bit. Did a little traveling,
Oh, you doing a shoot?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Did a little traveling. Had a few ups and downs of, manhood, the rites of passage. Bounced around and wound up. Still stuck in NEPA, Northeast Pennsylvania, ups and downs. Now I got a daughter turning 21 on Friday. Funny how life transitions in these ways. But made a few connections along the way. Made a few enemies along the way. Caught a few blessings and learned a few lessons. Can't say losses, because everything, good or bad, positive or negative, is all just energy. You always gotta have that mayat, always gotta have that balance. It's not gonna always be rainy days. But the sun don't shine every day either, or either, neither, or neither. But the situation is what it is. Right now, this is the resurrection. Had a few minor setbacks. I reiterate, had a few minor setbacks. But still here to tell the story. Appreciate the blessings and learn the lessons. Like I say, this is It Is What It Is podcast. And what it is the reality of the position of the so-called black man in America. The status that goes back to the Dred Scott decision of the 1800s. Where can I start? Shall I start with the Doctrine of Discovery? Shall I start with the movie The Birth of a Nation? Which really started the influence that movies and social media and television have on the masses? Shall I start there? Shall I go a little further to Emmett Till? Shall I go a little further to Trayvon? Shall I go a little further to George Floyd? Generations after generations. Skipped over Rodney King. No disrespect to Rodney, but we all just can't get along. Didn't mean to skip over him. In this incarnation of life, I've lived through all these things. Probably not the Emmett Till thing. I wasn't alive when that happened, but also added 9/11. The same year my daughter was born. Now we got to add in this pandemic that's been going on for several years now. On top of that, what happened with the elections from Obama to Trump to Biden, now with the war with Russia and the Ukraine. All these things I've lived through and experienced in my own individual way. It's ridiculous how in the so-called hood, we don't teach more ownership in the household. The nepotism is at such a low level among so-called black people that it's embarrassing. We just love to be consumers, entertainers, and the help. And the few of us that don't entertain get consumed with so much jealousy, envy, hate, lust, and greed, bad habits, toxic behavior, and addictions that we just become crabs in the barrel. Pop Smoke. We just become crabs in the barrel. XXX Young. We become crabs in the barrel. Young Dolph. Crabs in the barrel. So many drill rappers I can't even name. Crabs in the barrel. All the way from my era of Pac and Big L. Soulja Slim. Teflon. Camouflage. And so many more. It's out of jealousy and envy, greed, lust, hatred, slander, all the things that harm. Islam more. All the things that harm. But why does the so-called black man love the devil? This is from the, NOI lessons. Because he gives them nothing. I reiterate, he gives them nothing. Dred Scott decision. Supreme Court case that was never overturned, which in itself created the status of secondary citizens, so-called black people, because it stated, Dred Scott versus Stanford, by the way, you look it up, it stated that the black man has no rights that a white man has to respect or honor. In plain English. No legalese, no Latin, no trick words. Straight like that. So that demoted us to a status of, like I said, entertainers, consumers, and to a degree, crabs in a barrel complainers. Marching and bitching and moaning, playing a victim. Playing a victim and not learning the system. Not playing your part and tucking in your heart. A few of us would have to fall, but everybody would rise. If everybody just took the time to realize. You got to study the system and play the game. And you got to comprehend they're going to move the goalpost on you. So you got to adjust your kick like Tony Franklin used to do for the Eagles. He used to kick barefoot, the white boy. I mean the Anglo-Saxon. I mean the Caucasian. I mean the light complected human with no hue, just a man, Tony Franklin. Number one for the Eagles used to kick field goals barefoot. Back when I was a young buck. Back to the entertainment. Sports, entertainment, distractors. To keep your eyes off of finance, to keep your eyes off of ownership, to keep your eyes off of putting yourself on a level playing field with every other person that occupies the USA INC. They have what's called nationalities. Now, if you go to Resolution 75 out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Bays and the Ills, Moorish Americans, respectfully, not just in Philly, but specifically in Philly, we have the right to our Bays and Ills as our titles of nobility without going through courts and things of this nature for name changes. This should be recognized nationwide, not just in Philadelphia, Sheikh Mexham. It should be nationwide. We should be affiliated with the temples in Cook County, Illinois, where everything began for Noble Draw League. We should be affiliated, well, everything began in Newark, New Jersey in 1913 to be exact, but we got on the record books in Cook County, Illinois, as far as being recognized as a lost found nation of people. So they should be networking, and we should all be in concert. The temples in Philadelphia should have Resolution 75 passed in all 50 states, starting with Philadelphia, Cook County, Illinois, Michigan, Jersey, and Maryland. Because Moors are heavy in B-Moore, Moors are heavy in Newark, all throughout Jersey. We heavy in the District of Columbia. And where we not heavy at, we need to get heavy at. We can build a new Black Wall Street. We can build a new Wilmington. We can build what Malachi Z. York Ill was trying to build down in Georgia. I believe it was Gaston, down in Georgia. We can have that looking like a scene from Coming to America, the movie, with giraffes and elephants walking by. It can be done with ownership. It can be done with learning finance and learning how to combine finance and get these deadly sins out of us. The jealousy, the lust, the envy, the greed, the hatred, the sloth, the gluttony. Some of us want to get knowledgeable and keep the knowledge to ourselves instead of being each one teach one. Still sharpening still. What I don't know, you know, and vice versa. And let's build together. That's how empires are built. That's how we did it from 7-11 to 1492. And this is why it hasn't happened since. Because every attempt is silenced by the powers that be, and they make those people examples instead of martyrs. So the saga doesn't continue. The marathon stopped with Nipsey. Shout out to Jay Stone. Shout out to Black Sam. But the marathon stopped with Nipsey. One Nation stopped with Pac. Shout out to Moprin. But when Pac and Afeni transitioned, One Nation stopped. Shout out to Tretch. Shout out to Buckshot. Shout out to Nice and Smooth. These movements stop with the person because no one else steps up. And no one backs that person that steps up. Shout out to Outlaws. Edie and Noble. Salams to Napoleon. Yeah. It stops with the head. When you cut the head off, the body falls. Typical warfare tactics. And it takes the 5% lessons. They put our wisdom before us. Murderer, which makes it wisdom knowledge. Murderer, but we need knowledge, wisdom to bring forth the understanding. Murderer, culture, freedom. Murderer, power, refinement. Murderer, equality, God, build, destroy, boys, our cipher. Like, that's just, Sunshine by Brand Nubians. Certain things stay in your head when they make sense. They got rid of conscious rap years ago. But the wisdom being the female and the knowledge being the male is the reason for bringing this up, because another tactic of war is put the so-called African-American woman in a position where she challenges the position of the African-American male in the household, causing a chaotic and toxic situation. You don't progress when your household is not safe, secure, owned, and defended by the husband, by the father, by the male. This causes combined with the feminist movement started by non-African American females, by the way. This creates a dynamic of male versus female, challenging for the head of the household. When, if you know anything about the game of chess, yes, the queen is the most powerful piece on the board, but we kill the king, the game is over. Checkmate. So you got the queen move all around and make all these movements while the king stays in the background taking one step, knowing that one step can cost him the game, his life. Checkmate. Game over. These are the similarities to the game of chess and to the game of life. For those that don't participate in alternative lifestyles and behaviors, this is still Mother Earth, Mother Nature. And when you take it to the hood terminology, life's still a bitch. Shout out to AZ, Nas. I say all that to say this. All people who know their culture and nationality don't have these problems that we have in the so-called black / African American / Nubian / whatever you want to call yourself today households. Because it all goes back to our status. Status affects your treatment. Treatment affects your ability to live normal. Like I said, when you play the game, they keep moving the goalposts. You got to adjust your field goal kick like Tony Franklin. I made reference to that earlier. Okay, I just hit the half-hour mark. Like I say, this is a test run. Just throwing some stuff against the wall and see if it sticks. You get my drift. This is practice. Practice. Not that I need it, I'm a natural at this. Word to AI. Practice. We have been talking about practice. You can't take no days off because your adversary takes no days off. So even though the weather's not cooperating right now, Mother Nature's doing her thing out here with the rain, I'm a water sign, so I adapt. And I move like the current of the water. Sitting here watching the rain fall, gaining my energy, collecting my thoughts. Put these plays together. John Madden style, Belichick style, Coach K style, Dean Smith style, you know, put these plays together like a coach. But so many things in the mix that I have to bring to fruition. Because the nepotism will start with me. Pass it down to my daughter. And she'll pass things down to her children, and they'll pass things down to their children. This is about legacy. Not my bro, but shout out to my bro Legacy out here doing this thing. Peace to the king. But this is about legacy for all of our families. Nepotism is the word of the day. Ownership is the word of the day. It's your boy Big Haas, Wizzy Raw, Plain Wayne, L. Robinson Bay. Sign it off. Catch you next time. Talk to you when I walk to you. Peace.